Alright, here's your part 3. Get that first screw in. Just gotta wind out, hold that trigger guard down with your thumb. It is pretty difficult, so I want to tell you don't get discouraged because it is a pain in the ass. The other two screws, it's pretty simple from here. After you've got the real detailed little inner parts in, you can kind of tell how to put it back together. As long as you don't get your screws mixed up like I just did. Now, a lot of the screws look really similar, and a lot of them will work in other places. Just try to keep them back in their original place. Now, at this point, you want to check to make sure your revolver is working right. That way, if you have to take it apart again, it's not that hard. Hold the half cock. You know, it shouldn't fire. Hammer shouldn't move. Full cock. You can let it down. That's how you know you have it all put together right. Now, the next step is to put the wood back on. It's real simple. Slide it on, like that right there. You might have to compress the spring a little bit. Drop that middle screw down there. Two little back screws. Things are a little bit difficult to fit together all perfect and right. So you're going to have to kind of play with it to get it seated in there. It does take a little bit of practice. I've taken this gun apart probably 30 times and it still takes me a little bit to put it together. So once you have that back wood part on, go ahead and tighten down all your screws. They should all be oiled so that they can spin pretty freely. And if one screw doesn't want to go in, if it's kind of out of alignment, we'll loosen some other screws and it'll get in line. The trick to doing it all lined up is you have to do it progressively. If you tighten one screw down all the way at this, before the rest of them, it's not going to line up. You've got to kind of push the whole thing together at one time. Now the last part is your barrel. All you're going to do is take the plunger and the piston, line them up. It's kind of bulged. The thinner part, I believe, yeah, it goes towards the bottom. This is the top. No, it's the bottom. The thinner side of this little mill goes towards the bottom. And then find the appropriate screw. Push it through the piston. Make sure you got some oil on it. get it screwed down. Next, there's a hole, this bottom hole right here. Put that piston through there, line it up, and lastly the tiny little pathetic screw that goes in above your wedge slot. You can really just do this one with your hands if you want. I mean, it's not incredibly important that you get it super tight. In fact, you don't want it super tight or your wedge might not fit in. Just give it a little bit of a twist. Alright, and that's that. Gun's all clean, it's all shiny, all the internal parts are lubricated well. Just snap it all back together. And there you go. Cylinder turns. Make sure your cylinder spins. Make sure your half cock doesn't fire, because that's, that's unsafe if your half cock doesn't fire. And your cylinder should spin at half cock. Mine never has, but yours should just twist like that. And that's it. Your revolver's clean.